Iced tea already in my sip cup
Iced tea in your sip cup.
that I carry around with me all the time. All right, son, what are we going to talk about?
Okay, what are we going to talk about? Oh, well, let's talk about the Wheats and the Garretts.
What do you want to say about it?
Oh, well, the Wheats you don't know a whole lot about except, I mean, the Garretts, except from Bowling Green.
No, I certainly don't. There's nobody left down there. So I don't know how to find out about any of them.
All right.
Only way I know to find out is maybe, I don't know whether we can call up in Washington, D.C. and see if there's any Garretts listed up there. And maybe Arthur Garrett had a son, that son had a son or something.
Don't know, maybe.
But anyway, we've looked into that just about as much as we can.
I think.
And you've done a lot on the shops.
And,
Not as much
okay,
on
now
the
the Wheats came from,
I don't know where they came from.
Williamsburg.
Williamsburg.
Martinsburg, West
Martinsburg,
Virginia.
Garretts came from Williamsburg,
Well, the Garretts
Garretts.
are Bowling Green.
Yeah.
but they came from Williamsburg to Bowling Green.
But, oh, they did.
That's
Yeah.
right, that's right, from Williamsburg to Bowling Green.
Okay.
That
Dr.
was-
Garrett's home is preserved down there in Williamsburg. And Van F. Garrett taught the college down there. He was
Oh,
professor.
That's right.
But
And he
what
was
kin
kin.
he was kin, but mighty distant kin, I think.
Well, he was a sort of a distant kin, but
And
same
he was
line.
no kin to the Garrett's barn down here where Booth shot,
Different
no,
line.
Booth shot, yeah, that's not, Booth got shot there,
Right.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a different line.
Different line of
Different
Garrett's, but very close for proximity, they lived close
It's
together.
Cat. What's Pet?
I
Uh-huh.
think it when Williamsburg came over on one of them sailing ships.
Mayflower.
You see, the Garretts was small, and a lot of small people they put on them ships.
Yeah.
They didn't have room for big people.
Yeah. Well, they were all small, except I remember
Yeah.
that.
The only one that wasn't small was the enforcer,
The
the
enforcer.
policeman.
No, I'm talking about what Garretts I saw. The Garretts were small.
Yeah.
Now, the Schatzes
Yeah.
were big people. Them women were big.
Yeah.
Uncle Frank was big. But the Wheats, Pop Wheat was small, short. He was
Right.
stocky, but he was short.
And they were from Martinsburg.
They were from Martinsburg, yeah. As far as I know, that's where they came
Right.
from. And also the Schatzes were from
Right.
up that way.
Now, when they left Martinsburg, did they move to Winchester? Or where did they move from
I think they
Martinsburg?
moved down to Hilton Village, down to Newport News, I
Okay.
think. And I think that's where Hilton Village is. I'd have to maybe
Look it
ask
up.
Ron about that
Right.
when he comes.
And then up to
Then
Winchester?
up to Staunton,
Staunton.
or Stanton, however you want to say.
Right.
And from there, I guess to Fredericksburg.
Okay. Now, what about
And in
Winchester?
Fredericks-
Was there anybody at were they at Winchester or?
Oh, yeah, it seems to me it seems to me they did live at Winchester.
Okay.
didn't
Well,
But
they
when
did the
it-
Bowling Green one time, didn't
they? We're talking about the Wheats.
Oh,
The Wheats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when they moved here to Fredericksburg, there was an old house out on, what's it, 218, a big old home out there. Remember that old house out there we went to one time, Jimmy? They lived in that house.
they? That on 218,
Uh-huh.
White Oak Road?
Yeah, just right there. You're right set up on a hill like, I don't know whether it burned or whether it's still sitting there.
Oh, the one that
That-
Mr. Goldman was going by.
Yeah, that big old
Yeah.
house. Is that still there? I'll have to
think
take
so.
Jay up there.
Might be interesting.
Oh, yeah, that's
They
where.
moved there when they first came?
When they first came here, they moved there.
Huh.
That's when they died and they were young. I guess they still work. I guess they work downtown.
They might have tore that down a bit, put a house or
I'm not
something.
sure. But
Right there.
anyway, from there, they moved down on Caroline Street. You know what I'm speaking of on Caroline Street?
No.
You know the block that the apothecary shop? Not
Oh.
apothecary, no. Oh, gosh, the shop where the,
By the Elks?
no, this way further. Where they built the front porch on it, a front porch, and they built the front porch.
Oh,
What is wrong?
Rising Sun Tavern?
Yes, yes. They lived in that block where the Rising Sun Tavern is. on that same side of the street,
Huh.
second house from the corner towards the other end.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
And that's where that little matchbox, iron matchbox that I have on the wall
Okay,
in the
They
came
must have
kitchen.
lived next door to,
It came, wait a minute, that little matchbox came from a grocery store, right smack across the street was a little grocery store over there.
was that the same house they lived in down there where Thurston's lived in the next door?
It was next door on up a little bit from the Thurstons.
Well, they
But-
were about the second house, weren't they? Third house, something like that.
That's from maybe the other corner, but,
Yeah.
oh no, that was a different block. The Thurstons were up in the next block where the little grocery store
Behind Hearn
was.
Motor Company. Yeah.
Huh.
Where the little grocery store was. It was a little grocery store, and the man at the grocery store gave Uncle Billy that
A
little
match.
match holder. So it's old. It's a
Right.
nice old.
Huh.
And
What
then
street was the grocery store?
Caroline Street, right on the corner.
I don't remember the grocery store.
Well, it was, Jimmy. I remember it when I used to walk.
There was one over on Princess Anne's.
No, this, hey, I know that one, but this was on Caroline Street.
Okay.
You remember where Jackie Lewis used to
Yeah,
live?
yeah.
Well, sort of catty-cornered on that corner over there was a grocery store. I don't know what's there now. But anyway, and then from there, they moved to the big house on Charles Street.
Okay.
And then from there, Mama and Andy and Andy moved down across from the old post office in an apartment house down there. You remember that apartment house, Jimmy, down there across from the post office, catty-cornered across from the old post office?
The old folks,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
You remember that big old apartment house set on right across the street from the Masons? It's an old apartment house set up there, great big 5-story or 4-story apartment house.
Yeah.
Well, they lived in that. And then from
Who
there,
did?
Andy and Andy
Oh.
and Mama. And then from there, they moved down by the, on Prince Edward Street.
They moved all over.
Yes, they moved on Prince Edward Street in an apartment when I was in high school, and I used to walk home from Maury School, that was my high school then,
Right.
and Mama would fix lunch for me. And it was where the man had all those antiques, what's the name of that place? They right behind where we lived on Winchester Street. Stoner's
Stoner's
Store.
Store.
Well, when they lived there, it wasn't Stoner's Store, it was apartments in there.
And
And
they
they
lived
lived
where
in the-
Stoner's store used to be.
Where
Or
Stoner's
was.
store
Even
was.
when Stoner's store was there, they had apartments upstairs.
Well, okay, well, they lived on the first floor, right as you walked in the door, to the right, there was an apartment right there, is where they,
Louise,
Mama and Andy and Andy died.
you
Huh.
did.
And then from there, they bought the house on Winchester Street.
Okay.
So
1410.
that's 1410 Winchester, so that's where they lived the whole time they were in Fredericksburg.
Is that the one
And when Papa-
Fredericksburg Academy?
Yes. And when Pop died, they lived on Charles Street, right across from Dr. The dentist Saunders.
Okay.
And Mother told me, and I don't know how old I was, but she said when they called her that morning, or whenever they called her, that she ran all the way up to, when she, up there to
Charles Street.
Charles Street jail.
Order for what?
Called her to tell her Pop was dying, or he died or something, or he had a heart attack or something. But anyway, that's about all I know about the Roots, unless you want to ask me something else.
Now, how did you know any of the Schatzes? Aunt Sadie, Aunt Nancy, did you go visit them or?
Yes, Aunt Sadie lived in Washington, D.C. in an apartment. And maybe I was up there one time, but I would have been very small because she died
56.
56?
Yeah.
She died in 56. Did you know Aunt Sadie?
Uh-uh.
'Cause, well, you were a
Says
year
on the back
old.
of on the back of
Is
her
that Bowling
picture.
Green?
No, Aunt Sadie is Mama
Sadie
Wheat's
Schatz,
sister.
Mama Wheats.
Oh.
Sister, and she was a nurse. And she carried Aunt Dee out west on a train trip, like a nurses organization or association or something, and they all went on a train out west. And that's where Aunt Dee bought my bracelets from me, my rings.
Turquoise.
Yeah, but she didn't give them to me until
Yeah.
years later when I asked for them.
What, did she come to a wedding?
Aunt Sadie? No, I don't think so, Jimmy. She must have been mighty old then. Who knows? She could have been in a nursing
Died
home or
56.
something.
Yeah.
56.
Maybe
I
she was
didn't know
sick.
she lived that long.
I don't know.
But I know when I was a young girl, she gave me the piano which we sold, because Aunt Sadie's piano, now we got it down. And she also gave me her basket cushion, and Mother stored them in the attic, you know, and
Yeah.
everything, those old baskets. And a lot of them she had picked up out west. And one of them was my armadillo basket that I
Right.
must have sold, and then you replaced it
Right.
with one
I
you bought
remember.
from me.
I remember.
And the only other one up there, oh, I got a couple little ones of hers. One up there, the little tiny black one up there, is
Right.
Aunt Sadie's. In fact, when you go around showing things,
Yeah,
I'll
we'll have
show
to
you.
see 'em.
And I've got a couple other little baskets in my bedroom. I'll show you that with hers.
Okay, now that I didn't know. See?
Yeah, little small ones. No, the handles have been broken off of them, but I still use them. Sometimes I put Christmas cards in
Right.
or something.
Huh. Now what about Aunt Nancy?
No,
I
they
know.
were all, she was older even, I think, and she lived up in the mountains somewhere or another, and I don't even know where, and I don't know whether I ever went to her home or not. Aunt Mabel can tell you something about her. And the rest, and Aunt Maddie, I've been to her home before, but I don't know that she was even living when I went, because her son was the one that had that house up there in Martinsburg with all the wonderful antiques in it, and old jellies and stuff in there that Aunt Maddie had put up way back in 1910. Oh, and you couldn't walk in there. Newspapers and
Uh-huh.
everything imaginable. Look.
Crazy cat.
Uh-oh, she said, a little bit too hot a bit for me right now. She's sneezing. I think she got up on the fireplace. But anyway, then that was Aunt Maddie. And I don't know where Uncle Frank lived, but he would come down to visit. That's the reason I remember him.
Right.
But that's not Grandma Weeks'
Yeah.
brother, was it? Uncle
Yeah,
Frank?
Uncle
Oh,
Frank.
yeah, okay. And the other brother I did not know.
David.
And Aunt Maddie, let's see, it was Aunt Maddie, Aunt Sadie, Aunt
Emma.
Nancy, Aunt Emma, yes. I don't remember Aunt
Emma
Emma.
Rock.
Oh, Emma Rock was the one that lived in Martinsburg with the two boys.
Right. I think that was, no, that was, I'm sorry.
That was
Emma
Maddie.
was,
Yeah, that was Maddie.
that was Maddie Rock.
Emma was Falk,
Emma was Falk.
but
That's
I don't remember Aunt Emma.
Okay. She was oldest, I think. That's
Yeah.
what it looks like from the
Yeah.
pictures.
And Uncle Gilbert must have ended up in Martinsburg, or maybe he stayed there when everybody moved from there. Maybe he was old enough to stay there. But, and all of his children were born up there and lived up there actually for, until they were all elderly. And some of them just died up there, some of Uncle Gilbert's kids. And he married a second time, another woman from not Martinsburg, someplace in West Virginia. Barbara, you remember Barbara?
Right, I remember
Yeah,
Barbara.
she's a real sweet girl.
Yeah.
So that's all I can tell you about Mama's family. And Pop-Pops I didn't know too well, except old Granddaddy Weed lived there with them. And the main thing I remember of Granddaddy Weed, he had a awful looking sore. It was like a big mole or something here on his cheek, I think. And sometimes he kept a Band-Aid over it, and I don't know, it was like cancer. I don't know, it was bad, And I didn't know anybody. Well, I do remember some of his sisters, but not well.
Yeah.
They came down and visited a couple times, but I didn't know them that well. And then Mama Garrett, going back to the Garretts, she did have all of her family now was from down in Sharps, Virginia.
Right.
And the only cousin of mine living down there now is Walter Fiddler, and that was Mama's brother's child. And he had another child. Mama's brother's name was Peyton. And he had another boy, the oldest one named Peyton Jr. He's dead. His wife is dead also. They raised, what were those things they raised? They raised llamas?
Llamas.
They raised llamas, yeah. The whole yard one time we went down there was full of llamas.
Really?
Fenced in,
The people down there still raise them.
And anyway, they had an oyster house down there. And then Auntie was Mama's sister. LaVicey Davis was her name.
Right. I remember.
And she used to always come up and spend a couple months a year with us at different times. And I'd have to get my bedroom up for her. And she always hung blankets all over the windows if it was in the wintertime, because she's afraid the draft was going to give her a bad cold. And Mama drove down to Sharps quite often by herself in that old car after Pop-Pop died. And We lived with them. Mom and Daddy lived with Mama and Papa. That's all I know about that. All right.
You know,
what
now,
else?
you know what I'd like to find? That Pop-Pop's father was that treasurer
A Bowling
of
Green.
Bowling Green.
Right.
And now you remember Pop-Pop's brother's was Billy Garrett.
Billy Garrett, yeah.
That he had given us that, what was it, a tax from the treasury or whatever that had
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
signature on it. I don't know where that is, but it's got to be around somewhere.
It's in that stuff.
I thought it was. I could say it's got to be.
But
Gotta
he
be
didn't, when
around
we
somewhere.
contacted him, he didn't know squat about it.
I know.
And said he didn't have any pictures or anything else. I can't hardly
Well,
believe it.
in the archives in Richmond, under personal notes under the Garrett, there is a woman in there who is looking for certain family members.
Ah,
In the
that would
Garrett
be
family.
interesting.
And
In
it's
the
the
Garrett?
very same Garretts that moved to Fredericksburg.
Well, now who told you that?
I went up there one time when I was researching the Garrett family. And I was looking for Hearn stuff and Garrett stuff. Well, I started off looking for Garrett stuff, remember, before I started on Hearn.
Right.
And I pulled these personal files out, and this woman had been searching for the family members that had disappeared. She didn't know where they were.
Did you
And
contact
she
her?
listed, no, another contact because I didn't get her name. And she listed them all, and I made copies of all that. And when I came home, I found that they were the same ones that was in your family.
Well, what'd you ever do with
And
it?
they were from Williamsburg.
Throw them away
I
out.
didn't wonder
Oh,
what
that was
was.
with
You
the
wouldn't
Dr.
know. I
Van
just copied
Garrett.
a bunch of names. You wouldn't
Right.
know the names.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
all
probably in the book, there's a Garrett book back there
Uh-huh.
somewhere, but
Oh,
you
all
wouldn't,
right.
you know, but you could go right down there to Richmond, to the library and check out the personal files that people put
Well,
in
do
there.
we have a book in there? I know we got the Hearn book, but do we have a Garrett book too?
Just the notebooks, the
Well,
spiral
there's something on the
notebooks.
Garrett's, but there's also personal stuff you can put in there. And the Garrett and his family had put personal notes in there. She was looking for all of them. I don't know how long it had been in there. You know, it might have been there for 40 years before I found it.
Well,
Because the same people were the family that moved to Bowling Green.
right. Well,
Yeah.
now, I've got Pop-Pop's sisters.
Do you
We
want
have a camera
you
right now.
want to go around and stuff?
Yeah, that's
let me,
fine.
Let me get it and we go around.
Go around with stuff.
He's been recording all
I
this.
know it.
And now he wants me to go around and we're gonna tell what's what.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
but not just Garrett's, but everybody.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, the first thing, since we were talking about the Garretts, this cedar chest right here. Pine cedar chest with inlay, I guess, was Aunt Maggie's, who was a old maid sister of Pop-Pop's, never married. And she lived with her brother in Bowling Green. And she left that cedar chest to my mother. So that's what that cedar chest is. Now on this, and in the back of it, it's a sign there on the back of it from where it's from or something. Is there a little sign back there?
Yeah. Yes, there
I don't know what it says. I can't even remember now. Can you know?
It says the standard. Something about the Standard Company, Standard Cedar Chest, or Standard.
And we're using it now as a coffee table, which
Yeah.
a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Now, on top of that cedar chest is a very small, log cabin
Yeah.
that your daddy made, Jay, with the little front porch on it
Oh yes.
and a little thatched roof. And then there's a little log cabin sitting beside it with cigars came in. I think the top lifts off. But oh, I don't know. Maybe that's an incense burner. Lift that top off there, Jay, and see if that's an incense burner.
You lift it off there,
I'll lift
Mama.
it off. Yeah, you've got the camera. I forgot. It's got a hole in the top.
we didn't know cigars coming in.
I don't
Cigarettes,
think
maybe.
so either. Let's see. Ball incense. This incense burner.
There we go.
And that's a little incense burner with a whole chimney in the top there for the chimney. This log cabin I picked up at a yard sale, so I don't know who
Oh.
made that. and I've just paid a few dollars for it, and it's made out of Lincoln logs.
Uh-huh.
Now, sitting here on this cedar chest also is 4 bowls. One little one.
I wonder
another
where
little
they
one,
came from.
And another one, and another one. And these are all made, go on, Cat. These are all made out of the crib wood from the old dam in Fredericksburg. And Jay, you made those. Yeah, from the crib dam. And Jay made those, and they're all turned on a lathe. And they're just the cutest little things. Can you see? Well, that's where they came from. So now let's move on here a little bit further to maybe inside.
Alrighty.
Well, how about this right here? Aimed me that stool, and that came from Brent's store. And I think it was cut off. I think it was set in front of the pattern cabinet. And I think somebody cut the legs off of that one. But I've got one, well, I got another one sitting over there. You see that other stool?
We do.
That came from Brent's store also, and A&D gave me that. And that's where she worked. Brent's store in downtown Fredericksburg. And Mother worked there also for a while, but A&D worked there much longer. Also from Brent's store is this wonderful old Cortacilla silk cabinet. It's a spool cabinet with all those drawers in it, and I put all those different spools of stuff in there. But Aunt Dee gave me that also, and that's from Brent's store. Oh, let's see what else.
What about your plant stand?
That's not,
What, where? Okay, we'll go to this corner next then. Well, first I'll go here with this log cabin.
Okay.
This little log cabin right here that I love, your daddy made also. And I don't know what building, what do they call that little building, Jimmy?
I don't
With
know.
the upstairs.
I don't know.
Well, anyway, that's where that came from. And all these shark's teeth here we found over at George Washington's birthplace. Big ones and little ones too. And this little lamp came from Jen Stitt after he died. This right here,
Well, we can't see that too well.
well, it came from out of Brent's store also. Now, I was told that it belonged to Doc Pettit, Aunt Di's husband. My Uncle Billy told me that. But we have a picture of inside Brent's store, and this was displayed in there with a plant on it, flower on it. So I think this came from Brent's store also. Oh, over here I got several little boats that your daddy made. I don't know if you wanna. They're like this, darling little boats. Can you see those in the
Yeah.
camera? Well, he made this one. Did you didn't make that one?
I think that doesn't say about there.
No, I don't think you did.
Oh,
Honey.
the one up there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he made this little one, and this another little boat here he made also, with just as cute as a button.
Is that my frame?
This one right
That's
here.
like your first one up.
And then, like your first one he ever owned, he made that. And I got 2 of these. Another one is up there on behind that little boat on
Right.
the mountain. And we've got a sailboat too somewhere that he made. But I thought they were just as neat as they could be. They're kind of hidden back in there. Amongst these old salts. He collects those, or did collect them.
Sure. Let's see some old things.
That belong to the family. Let's see. What do I have in here? Well, we got a lot of Crocs in here, but
And you don't need to pull them out. You can just...
be truthful with you, Jimmy, do you?
Well,
This right here belonged to Granny, she to Mama Vase collection. And it's, I think. And this little bowl and dish here, that pretty little
Right.
piece there, that belonged to Mama Wheat also. And it's a good maker. I don't know whether it's Bavarian or Austria or where. But that's like a little jelly dish. And these are my little oil lamps. And this was Mama Wheat's, belonged to her vase collection. And that's a Roseville. That's an expensive piece. This came out of Granny's house, but I'm not sure where Granny got that. And this crock right here.
I don't know either. She might have got that when she sold some real estate.
Right. And
What was that lady's name?
I don't know what her name was. And some of these maybe came from Granny's house. I just bought this. I thought it was so cute. I'm not sure how old it is.
Oh,
That
yeah.
little cast iron cup.
That is.
Okay, and we've got a lot of old books here also, but, and this is Jay's collection there. That's a skater's line. Oh, and this was Mama Wheat's also. That's a little jellyfish. That was hers also.
Huh.
Now, let's move on to other things.
What's below that?
Jump. You want to move over to, I don't know what this, oh yes, I must show you this. This is wonderful. This is one of the nicest things Daddy's ever made, I guess, was the Noah's Ark.
Oh, yes.
And all of the animals that went with it. And we are real proud of that old Noah's Ark.
You wouldn't let me make me one.
You could have made more.
I know it.
I'm not gonna tell about those up there. That's not.
Your shoe boxes?
Yeah, I just started collecting old shoe shine boxes. And I just bought this thing right here that Jay doesn't care for, but that's real Americana stuff. And then Jay gave me these darling little
Well,
scoops.
you can tell him one of them's Freed's shoebox and one of them's
Well,
mine.
that's true. This was Uncle Freed's shoebox right here, shoe shine box. And this is Jimmy's shoe shine box from way back when.
Uh-huh.
All right, let's see here.
There's a birdhouse.
Oh yeah, Daddy made this birdhouse right here. It's a little Americana birdhouse, and Jay gave me that beam out of an old barn up in New
Yeah, that
York
was a
State.
sheep barn.
Uh-huh.
Red
a
oak.
sheep barn. And here, look, here's the
Peg, old wooden
peg. It
peg.
went in, it held it together, held it up or something. And this right here, was this your daddy's,
Turkey call.
this is great-granddaddy's turkey collar.
Tom Hearn.
Tom Hearn's turkey collar.
Huh.
And that's little fish with Noah sitting inside of it, Noah and the whale, Jay gave us. And this is a piece of, what do you call it?
Meteorite.
A meteorite, yes, that Jay gave Daddy one Christmas for his Christmas present.
And over your head's about that drum I got at the dog barn.
Yes, and when Daddy
That
was little, he
Furnaceburg
got
when I
this
was
drum
about
way up here at
8
the
or
dog
10 years
barn.
old.
Ah,
Made by the Indians.
That's right. And
Yeah,
I've got
pretty
tons
good.
of baskets, some are old, some are new. But around here, if you want to walk around this way, son, I might have to get up here and get it, because I want to show it to
oh,
We'll get up and break your neck.
you. It's this little basket right here. Was Aunt Sadie's, and it's in mint condition. It's called the Buttocks Basket. And it's in mint condition, and that was hers. And I got another basket up here that I bought from a man down the street, but I'm not going to tell you all about that. But that belonged to his aunt.
there you go.
Thank you. Now, speaking of Crib Dam in Fredericksburg, here's two
Oh.
more lamps over here that Jay made. They're not ready yet. Lanterns. He's made 3 so far out of this oak. And it's been underwater so long, it's black oak. Turned black. And they're going to be worth some money. If not now, later.
You can make a mention of that Hog Slaughtering Table.
I am. I'm going to mention this.
You know what we gonna mention? We gonna mention closing these blinds so we don't get all that white
Okay,
light in
that's a
here.
good
on
idea.
everything.
Good idea. Yes, this table right here we bought years ago in Richmond at an antique show. And it's a hog slaughtering table. They used to slap the old hog up there and slaughter him right on that table. And we use it now as more like a hunt table, a buffet table, or if we have company and you put all your food on. All right, now let's see what's next.
Corner cabinet.
Yes, another pride toy. Wonderful corner cabinet. Wonderful. What's it made of?
This pine from the church.
Pine corner cabinet that Jimmy made out of old church pew wood,
Uh-huh.
Which was over 100 years old.
which was over 100 years old, and it's a magnificent old piece. Inside of it is a collection of, what's this stuff called? I can't
Blue
think.
willow?
Blue willow of mine. But here is your Aunt Di's, your great Aunt Di's china set that Barbara Ann left to me. Barbara Ann Wheat, when she passed away, my first cousin, Uncle Freed's daughter, she had this set of china of Aunt Di's, and she left it to me. And it's a beautiful old set. Now, and this little trunk right here was white, and it was set up in Mama's attic for years. And she let Jimmy and I have it, and Jimmy stained it up and painted it around the edges here and did a lot of work to it. And I've had it ever since. It's got all my old photograph albums in it. Well, one day Uncle Billy came over, and he said, "Oh, I used to have a little trunk just like that." And Mother said that that was Uncle Billy's little trunk, but I never told him.
He knew it was.
I know it. Now, this little sailboat, if you want to point your camera up there, the little green one with the sail, your daddy made that also.
Ah.
And Jay and Daddy and I, well, we'll show you those later. Those little men, dancing men. Do you want me to tell you who the stuff in here?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. These little, I guess they're little, what kind of glasses? They're not shot glasses, little wine glasses, a little after dinner drink glasses were Aunt Di's.
Eggnog.
Huh?
Eggnog.
No, I don't know, but they were Aunt Di's, and she had those as a wedding gift. This picture back here, and also these, I believe, were Aunt Di's. These were Jimmy's and my wedding present.
Okay.
These crystal glasses here. And two of these little cups here were Granny's. And this one Barbara Ann gave me with that set of dishes. This is a celery dish and little salt dishes that belong to Ruth, my mother. Oh golly, and all these dishes, the footed bowls and everything, they belong to my mother also. Okay, now let's go over here to this picture of the Confederate flags. That was Uncle Peck's, and when he passed away, he left that to Jimmy. That old picture frame with the Confederate flags in it.
The woman down in.
Oh yes,
down
Aunt
Bowling
Maggie.
Green.
It came from Aunt
Drew it.
Maggie's house down in Bowling Green, and a person down there drew that.
They gave it to me.
Uh-huh. Now over here, I just acquired this from Aunt Mabel's house. Barbara Ann years ago got this from Aunt Dee when they were on Winchester Street. And she never took it to Richmond. It sat in Aunt Mabel's down in her basement for years. And she gave it to me just this year. And Jimmy replaced a lot of wood in it and fixed it all up for me. And it's got all the old original stenciling on it. And I just love it. It's even got, if you open this up, it's got where the flour goes in and where you grind the, sip the flour out. Yes. Oh, let's see. Up here, old old tablecloths that I started collecting. This is Mama Wheat's mixing bowl right here. You see anything else in here?
Up on
Jake?
top.
Oh yeah, this Mama used to make applesauce in this right here. That aluminum thing with the bale handle. These crocks are some of Jimmy's collections. I don't know where we got them from. And Jay gave me for Christmas that tobacco basket. Oh dear. Daddy wanted me to tell you that he made this. It's not my favorite. And these old bells here, they're yak bells. And they came from
Nepal.
Nepal. That's right, Nepal. Okay, what else now? You want to walk into the kitchen and see if there's
Sure.
anything? I don't want to leave anything out here. No, well, these are some crocks that were family crocks. Trying to find mostly things. This little oil lamp was Mama Wheat's oil lamp.
Which one? Oh,
This
that
one
one.
here,
Okay.
And crocks are some more crocks that either Granny gave us or Jimmy and I have collected. Let's see. These crocks right here that was a vinegar. Mama Wheat kept, Mother said, vinegar in that crock.
Huh.
And this one, I think she kept jellies in it. And all these wooden things over here were milk containers from Nepal also. And this little fella up here, this little whirligig fella, Jay made him out of wood. Okay,
Yes, Jay
and these
remembers
came
making
from
him.
Nepal also, and this is a very collectible basket from up in New York State. I want some more of those. I gotta find off that one. In the bathroom, I don't think I have a thing that I need to show you in here. In this bedroom here, was there something I wanted to show you in here? Just a second, let me get something out of here. Both of these were Aunt Sadie's baskets also. These two baskets. Both of them had handles on them, which is broken off. And this one is a really strange one because it's got a wooden bottom.
Huh.
And it's got an initial on the bottom of it, OHB. But it was Aunt Sadie's.
Huh.
Both of these. And what I'm doing with them back in the bedroom, I should have them sitting out someplace,
Yeah,
shouldn't
you
I,
should.
Jay? Okay, I'm going to leave those just like that. And I'm going to go in here and close this drawer. I don't think I've got anything to show you in here. Do I? All right, let's move on towards here. This was made, this cabinet here. This cabinet here was made by your father, this screened-in cupboard that we keep all our canned food in and dishes in. That was made by Jimmy Hearn. This was made by Jimmy Hearn, this little tin cupboard. And this little dancing man right here was made by Jay Hearn. And he's called the Ragtime Man. This little birdhouse right here was made by Jimmy Hearn. And I always like to call it like a little cabin. I think it's as cute as it can be. And this rocker right here was a great-granddaddy's. I don't know whose it was. Whose was it? Came from the Hearn family. Anyway, it's very, very
Got a bit much light coming in those windows over there.
too much.
I got it closed. You're gonna have to get the light behind you.
Ah,
Well,
It's all right.
Yeah, look at it from here where I'm at. The chair was,
this rocker.
on there, the black that had that, I think that might have been, Mary Virginia's and Samuel's.
Oh, this
Might
maybe
have
was, this might have been Mary Virginia's and Samuel's, ain't Nellie
Right.
Blackley?
Had it.
had it.
Yeah, had it, yes.
Now, the washstand behind there,
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
pull the chair out just a bit.
the washstand behind there was handed down to Granny, my mother, Nellie Hearn, from her mother,
Eliza.
Rose Armstrong. They had it for their home. I don't know how long they had it, probably a long time.
This oil painting up here of your daddy's was done by a school teacher, I forget what her name was, from a photograph. Now let's see, walk on around here and let's see what else. Oh, here we go with Brent's store again. This is a pattern cabinet from Brent's store. Kept patterns in all these drawers. That's oak. Aunt Mabel just recently gave me that. It was sitting out in her garage, and I told her I'd love to have it. So there is that. Oh, my collection of dolls and teddy bears in there. Jay gave me this, and all these things one Christmas, all these things he had collected, and he put them on this board.
Corn chuckers.
They are corn shuckers. You know what a corn shucker is? I didn't. But you put it in your hand like this, I think. don't you?
Yeah.
And you shuck the corn somewhere or another. I
Pull
don't
the
know.
leaves off the corn.
Pull the leaves off the corn. And here's a corn
Cutter.
cutter.
Cut the stalk.
Yeah, they cut the stalks down. Now up on top of this cabinet up here, see all those little men there?
Yeah.
Well, they were made by Jay and Jimmy and I, and they're little dancing men. And they're jointed, and they're the old Appalachian dancing men, and they have a little paddle that comes with them, and you put the paddle underneath of your leg. I'd like to show you, but I don't have one. And you do the paddle like that and hold man on his stick, and he dances back and forth. Here's something else wonderful that your daddy made
Oh,
you.
too much light.
Too much
You'd
light.
have to pick it up, lift it over.
How about this way?
That's
You
wonderful.
need that wonderful little all wooden.
The other one sitting on the cup.
With all your teddies on.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, and all those are my little tiny teddies that are collectible that I've had. Some of them are stiff, which are good ones. All right, and your father also made this wonderful church birdhouse. And we've sold a lot of these birdhouses that he's made.
That is nice.
Isn't that nice?
Mhm.
Okay, now let's see here. One of these little things, and I think it was this one. These little enamel boxes, I got a kind of a collection of those. And they were made in China. One of these was Mama Wheat's. I don't know which one though. Not this one, I know. And not this one. Maybe this one, maybe one in the other room. Oh Lord, are we gonna keep on going?
It's up to you.
You gotta close them shades.
Oh yes. Well, that picture right there was
Oh, yeah.
Granny's.
Granny had one. That was hers?
Uh-huh.
I know she had one.
Oh, well, I thought it was. I don't know whether it was or
Had
not.
one just like it.
And if you come down here with these pictures, you want to look at these pictures?
Oh, yeah.
You going to look at all of them?
Sure.
Okay.
You don't have
See,
to.
the
This is-
clarity's good enough or not.
Well, this is our granddaughter Jessica when she graduated from high school. This is my mother and dad. This is Fanny and Wilbur Wheat, my mother's mother and father, when they got married. This is Jimmy and I when we got married. And this is Mama and Daddy, Carlton and Ruth, when they got married. And this is Robbie, the grandson, when he graduated from high school. And I don't know how old Jessica was in that little picture. Now, do you need light in here?
Yeah, cut that light on.
This one? Mm-hmm. Okie dokie. Where do I start in here? I'll start with the furniture first. Last
Get
year,
that.
when Barbara Ann Wheat in Richmond passed away, she had heart trouble. She was a year younger than 10 years younger than I was. When she passed away, she had Mama Wheat and Pop Wheat's oak bedroom suit. And anyway, she told me she was going to leave it to me, which she did. And so Jay and Aunt Mabel and Jimmy and I went down and picked it up. I think Joel or did Billy go too? Just
No,
us.
just us.
And I got the washstand, the dresser. The bed was a really high back bed, and Mama and Pop Wheat had it cut down, which was a shame, and cut the feet down. So that was a shame they did that. Also, this did not go with it, but Aunt Mabel had bought this for Barbara Ann to go with it, and she gave me this also. Now this is a lamp that Daddy made out of a kerosene can. This over here is a collection of doll babies I've had. The little tiny swingy arm and straight doll babies, little penny
Bisque.
doll babies. Bisque. Yeah, they're bisque, plus a nice little old teddy bear. And a couple little china heads in there. We gave Jay this for Christmas, which is a coffee grinder. He bought this himself since he's been down here this Christmas, and that's a powder horn because we gave him a wonderful gun for Christmas. And he wanted a powder horn to go with it.
Then he made the stopper for it.
And he made that little turn stopper out of that crib wood. And this here is a whale oil lamp. And we gave him that also for either Christmas or his birthday, right? Or the two combined. Oh my goodness.
How about my
This
shelf?
was my granddaddy's, this was my daddy's little shoe. Only have one of them.
Huh.
All of these little, I don't know how you pronounce this name, of these little picture frames.
The
up here.
ragatypes or something like that.
Daguerreotypes or something. They've got little tin-type pictures in all of them. Uncle Billy gave them to me, and they were sent to him by Paul Ropp's wife. I think it was Paul. I get the two of them mixed up.
Clarence Paul.
Clarence. Oh no, Clarence. These were Clarence's, and his wife sent them to Uncle Billy after he passed away, and Uncle Billy gave them to me.
How about the shelf?
The shelf, yes, the shelf was made by Jimmy, which is a great shelf, and it's an old-looking shelf. But it was made by Jimmy.
I'll zoom in on you. Beginners
Yeah,
department certificate.
he wants me to show you my little beginner's promotion certificate, beginner's department, and I was promoted to the primary department, Baptist Church, and it's got everybody's Robert F. Cavalier and
When you were
Sam
how old?
Perry and, well, I don't know, it's a beginner's department, I don't know, probably 6 or 7. I'm looking at the date. 41, so I'd have been 6. 6 years old. Oh golly, do you want to look at any of these
How about
pictures?
the plaque up at the Peckett made?
Yes, oh yeah, that's made out of ceramics, and that's a Garrett plaque, Uncle Peck and Aunt Alice, I don't know which one made it. But it's made of ceramics
Coat of
and painted by then. It's a Garrett coat of arms. Right. Do you want to go over these pictures?
No, but we could
Okay.
Oh,
just.
this one you might want to see that one.
Oh, you might want to see Mama Wheat and Pop Wheat's marriage certificate up there with their pictures in it. That's quite unique. Can you get it? Gotta turn the light out. That's quite
Oh,
unique.
yes, it is.
That's nice. Oh, here's something else that your father made. Is this darling little table. I'll show you that in the other room, though. All right. Okay, you ready to move on?
Ready to move on.
All right, let's move on.
Was the tree stand old in there?
Yeah, but I don't know where it came from.
Oh,
Ooh,
Oh, you
feels
got close
pretty in
up.
here. I'm burning
got
up.
that light out.
Ooh, yes. All righty. Now we have
Other way. Sun's up in the eyes, cat. Other way.
There we go.
All right. Now this rocking chair right here, there again came
Can't
from
get back enough.
came from Aunt Nellie's again. There again, Jimmy.
That was, I know that was Mary Virginia Gibbs.
This is Mary Virginia Gibbs's rocking chair that we got
It
from
looks like
Harrison Blackley.
Looks like it was modified by Samuel. You see that where the rods in that is
Oh, string.
stabilization.
Yeah.
And also, I'm sure this is new.
Yeah, I
in
think
here.
Aunt Sue put that back on
Yeah.
there.
Okay.
Not recently.
I don't know what else we have. Oh, Jimmy made this. He's made several of these, and we sold some, and Susan has one, and we have this one here, and that's our clothes hanger.
What about the lamp up there, Dad?
Oh, yes, the lamp.
Oh,
We've
yeah,
got a
that's,
wonderful old oil lamp, which has been converted to electricity.
Eliza Rose Armstrong's lamp.
Eliza Rose Armstrong, he said.
My,
Wonderful
my
lamp.
grandmother,
Yes.
maternal grandmother's
His
lamp.
maternal grandmother's lamp. Okay. This cedar chest right here was Daddy's and mine when we got married, and it was white, that old white wood.
Ah,
What do they call it?
Blonde.
Yes. And I painted it red with the help of Daddy, and we painted the sunflowers on it. And sitting on top of it is
you have to bring that over to the bed. It's hard to see.
Okay, it's a wonderful, wonderful piece that we have given to Jay. And this here is a
Lap desk.
lap desk. Of course, this opens up, right? Yes. And an inkwell is missing, so we're always on the
And
lookout.
that belonged to Mary Virginia and Samuel Hearn.
This belonged to Mary Virginia and Samuel
They
Hearn.
probably use that in the buggy sometimes.
And it's
too.
got all brass around the edges of it, right?
Yes.
Okay, now, also over here, here's one more thing that your daddy has made, and that's this towel rack. And one other thing that he's made is this little darling table right here, and I'd like for him to make some more of those. 'cause
That
I
is
think
nice.
They're very,
They
very,
are
with that
very,
wall
very
you
nice.
give
Yeah, that is very nice.
very nice table. And,
Yeah.
You
You
got
need a
something
shot.
else hanging on the wall there, don't you?
Need a shot of
oh,
that.
yes. Oh, my goodness, yes. Wonderful thing on the wall over there.
What? Oh, yeah. But you got to get it where there's no glare.
Oh, yeah, you got glare. Over
This
here,
is
that's
from,
better.
wait a minute, what's the date on this?
I don't know if it's dated, Peg.
I thought it was 1905. That's dated 1905. And it's got Nellie,
It's Tom Hearn and his sister, Nellie Blackley.
she was a Hearn then, Nellie
And they
Hearn.
all signed on there.
And they had
along
been
with
to
their
a
friend.
Valentine dance, yes. Not a
Valentine?
Valentine, a New Year's
New Year's
dance.
dance.
Because it says Old Lang Syne
You
on
don't
it.
send the wrong message.
Right. And we acquired that from Harrison Blackley also, right?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, it might be some things we missed, but
There's
I
some
would
things
know.
over in the garage, I know, all the pans.
I'm trying to
There's
think what
probably some
else.
furniture up in the, yeah, there's furniture up in the,
In the apartment? No, I
And
don't
there's
think
probably
so.
stuff in the cedar chests, too.
It
Oh, yeah,
is.
you gotta
Would you
remember-
like to look in
you
there?
gotta
Certainly.
remember the,
Let's look in this cedar
remember the
chest.
thing that Fred Hearn gave me? The quilt?
That's up in the attic somewhere.
Huh?
That's up in the attic or in that closet over there somewhere.
Quilt.
Not a quilt. It wasn't a quilt at all, Jay. It was,
Well, it was.
There's
quilted
Mama's
work,
heating
wasn't
pad.
it? Looks like just bought.
this little doll Granny gave Susan. I don't know how old Susan was. Granny bought that little doll, still got its shoes on it,
Goodness.
from Leggett's, when Leggett's was downtown. Isn't that just the cutest little thing? And this little music box we gave to Mama Garrett, and it hung in a nursing home beside her bed. Oops. And, oh, it's not going to work. What a shame. It's not going to
It'll probably
work.
start working about midnight.
Yes, it'll probably start working about
I'll say,
midnight,
what
Jimmy
is that?
says. But in here is a couple quilts I wanted to show you if I can ever get to them. My goodness, Jay. Bless my soul.
Oh.
You don't need to open all this stuff.
I want to show them the wonderful quilts that grandmother
Well, I gotta
made.
run to the store and get the barbecue.
Well,
Let me put on some.
and I thought too. Phew, what am I gonna do with all this stuff, Jay? Oh, goodness gracious.
So what do we got here?
All right, what we
I'm gonna
have
come
here-
around here.
Let me see what this is. Let me poke a hole in it and see. Oh, that's something D made years ago. Oh, Granny Rain did full time. Now, what I have to show you here now is this little rascal right here is made out of these little round things, and I forgot what they called them. What do they call those little yo-yos? Grandmother made that little clown yo-yo out of little yo-yos. And grandmother also, right when she graduated from high school, I think, she made this wonderful quilt, which I should not have in this cedar chest.
Oh, no.
Because this is from like 1930.
When she graduated from high school, that's wonderful.
Mm-hmm. And it's made of silks and velvets, and it's got all of the, I forget what they call these little different kinds of stitches, crow's feet, and I don't know what all kind of little different stitches on it. And years later, when Mother was still living, I had an old lady put the back on for me. And see how it's just deteriorating, the silk
Oh,
is?
yes, yeah.
Something really should be done with it. It would probably be better if it was hung on a wall, I don't know.
Yeah.
And it probably should have something put between it like tissue paper before I pack it up again. But anyway, that's Mother's quilt, and it's wonderful. It's called a crazy quilt. But back then they used to use all the silks and velvets and that type of thing. So that's hers. And also this quilt, she started making this later on, like who knows when, in the 60s maybe. But it's made of yo-yos also, and I've added to it since, but we've just never gotten it big enough to go over a bed yet. So that's a yo-yo quilt. And I have one other thing to show you, and I think that's going to end our little get together here today is this right here. This here needs to be tacked together back here in the back because it's come untacked. But if it was tacked together, what a shame. If it was tacked together, this is Mama Wheat's sunbonnet from way back when.
Oh, that's great.
1800s, I guess. Isn't that a wonderful old sunbonnet?
That is wonderful.
And along with the sunbonnet, whoop, whoopie, is her little black checkered gingham, a little gingham black apron. There you are there. And that was down in my cedar chest too.
Ah, that's great.
Isn't that great?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the end of our little tour, unless I think of something later on to talk about. What do
Okay.
you all think?
Sounds good.
All righty then, I enjoyed it.